Okay, so about 6 months ago I bought this box of records, and it was quite expensive, but I paid the money because I pulled a few of the ones out here, some of these 78s, and I thought they were very interesting. Now it does have some other records in as well, which I'm not going to go through in this video because it would just be too long. Let me know if you want to see the sort of vinyl and the other stuff in here, and I'll do that in a separate video. So I've not gone through these records before, but this is actually the second take. So I did do a few records before I realised I had some technical issues with the cameras, etc. Anyway, so I've not looked at this record before, but let's see what we've got. Well, this is the national anthems of France and Russia. This is a winner record. It's by the Royal Military Band. And this is also Belgium and Japanese national anthems, and this will be probably before or maybe during the First World War. So here is another winner record. This is A Country Girl, played by the band of HM Irish Guards, and we got a label up here. I mean, yeah, that's the winner. That's the winner. Catalogue number, and it's got 1915, which is probably the date, to be honest. And on the other side we've got A Country Girl selection part 2. So I suppose a quick look at this record. Oh, it's got a bit of a rim on it, so that is relatively early, but it does look pretty clean actually. I mean, that's surprisingly good considering these records are like 110 years old. Okay, this is in a plain cover. This is a pianoforte solo, Alice Where Art Thou, Albert Fox, or played by Albert Fox. And on this side, we've got Dixon's Derby's Record Shop, specialist in sound reproduction. I didn't actually read out what was on the other side. It's Rubinstein's Melody in F. Okay, this is this one here is well, it has no cover, so that's what I meant to say. It's again got a bit of a rim on it. I mean, British manufacturer, but it says Kaiser Brigade, and Kaiser presumably refers to the leader of Germany. I mean, these are from about the time of the First World War, so it's interesting that it mentions the Kaiser. And on this side we've got El Abanico, and in fact both of them are by the Royal Parks Band, and I can't say I've ever seen anything by the Royal Parks Band before, so that's interesting. Here's another winner. Again, it's catalogued. I mean, it's interesting. It says 1925. Maybe it is, or maybe no, I think this might be in the wrong sleeve, because I think that would have been the catalogue number from the previous owner, and that would have been the date. Well, this isn't that number. This is an earlier number, and the label looks earlier. Mystery of Love Waltz, played by the Bohemian Band. And on the other side we have that's it, Nay Dad, which I don't know what that means. I'll have to look that up. Also played by the Royal Court Orchestra, and again it's got a nice chunky rim on it there. So yeah, that's going to be relatively early. And I say all these sort of colour winner labels like this, they date from somewhere just before the First World War. I'm not quite sure on when they came into. I think sometime probably just after the First World War, and they went on with somewhat different labels after that. Now this one here, this is I think probably a slightly later label, or maybe a label from the First World War, because it's in black and white. Again, I'm no expert on winner labels at all. I know what I like, but well, here we go. I mean, it's 3078 there. Previous owner, I think, has dated it at 1917. Hopefully that's coming in camera shot there, 1917. And it's regimental marches by the band of His Majesty's 1st Life Guards. And on the other side we have more regimental marches, and let's have a look at the record itself. We have a little bit of a rim, but not so much as some of the earlier ones. Still a very clean record. At least I think, oh, I don't know. Is that a scratch or is that a crack? Let's have a little look. I think it's had a bang, and although it's not actually cracked, there's a kind of a crack forming. So yeah, so not so good, that one, but it's probably still entirely playable. This one here, again, I don't think it's in the sleeve that it was in before, because this lists 2826 1915. This is 3232. The Island of By and By, Miss Lee White. And this is Kenville or Kenil. So look, Kenville, Jackson, High Street, Harlow. Also Stanmore, also Stansted and Dunmow. This is actually a rather later sleeve. You can tell by the television and the radio at the bottom there. Although look at the phone number. I mean, the phone number is only 2 digits long. Harlow had clearly moved to 4-digit phone numbers, whereas if you were in Bishop Stortford, there were still less than 100 phones installed in that location or in that town. And the record actually is "I've Got the Sweetest Girl in Maryland," Miss Lee White. I have to be honest, I don't know any of these. I don't think I really recognise the people. I don't really recognise the tracks. I shall have to play some of them and see what they're actually like. Got another winner here. This at some point in its life was £2, or it was sold for £2 if this is the original sleeve. This is, well, this is selection 2. Let's turn it over. Oh, there's nothing more on this side, unfortunately. As You Were by the Royal Court Orchestra, 3258. Another one of these sort of grey labels. Let's have a look at the record itself. Very slight evidence of a rim there. Generally looks to be in pretty good condition though. This one is the next one out. This is The Islander, sung by Dudley Roy. 2733. There's a whole load of writing here. I don't know if any of this is relevant. There's 1916 there. I suppose that could relate to this record, but it could relate to something else entirely. The Gramophone Depot, High Street End, Birmingham. The other side, the Gurkhas Parade, which is a xylophone solo. Okay, we've got this one here now, Ward's Record Service. This is from Coventry, Wallsgrove Road, Coventry. Gramophones, records, wireless and everything musical. So this is more sort of like late 20s, this sleeve, maybe late 20s, early 30s, something like that. This chap, he appears on lots of different record covers for lots of different shops, and just the text in here changes really. So that was one of these sort of standard things you could get printed on record sleeves, or record covers I should say. What do we got here? We've got a popular song, Come Where the Night Birds Are Singing, sung by Wilfred Virgo on 2195. And on the other side we have Stanley Kirkby. Now that is a name I do know. Popular song, Nobody Knows, Nobody Cares. I don't know either song, but at least I've heard of Stanley Kirkby. Yeah, another interesting winner. Well, another winner. This at some point in its life was 50p, which was £0.50. Or at least has been £0.50 since the early 1970s. This is Territorial March, Royal Guards Band on 2071. What have we got on the other side? We've got Trafalgar. Again, two marches I'm not familiar with. It's got a bit of a rim on this one here. I mean, marches actually are quite good for some of the older gramophones. Actually, like my external horn machines, they tend to play marches quite well, and they're also quite close in period to these records. Okay, let's crack on. I'm Shy, Mary Ellen, I'm Shy. Now that is a famous track. I'm sure I've heard that. Sung by Jack Pleasance. I'm not sure I've heard of him though. Again, one of these very nice colourful Winner labels. And oh, on this side we've got rather more. I don't think this was the original sleeve. That looks like a HMV catalogue number at the top there. We've got various writing there. I can see 1912, but I can't see anything else that I can really read. I'm in Trouble again, sung by Tom Foy, and this is Jones's Gramophone Stores, Ludgate Hill EC4, so that's a London address. Okay, maybe we'll start another pile. Yet another winner. So you may have guessed actually why I bought this box. I did pull out a few and they were all winners, and they were all early nice colour labelled winners, and I thought and they kind of all look like they might be winners. So I thought maybe we will have this box even though the records in them were rather more expensive than I usually pay for a box of records. Anyway, you can see there's a nice old rim there. I can feel it on both sides actually. What do we got? We've got Dreaming, Royal Court Orchestra on 2180. I mean the labels do differ, and I really should know more about this, but I don't know how best we can do them. Maybe they're both on camera. You can see they are not the same label. They both got a horse about to win with a person standing at the finish line, but on the one on the left he's wearing maybe a bowler hat or some sort of shorter hat. The guy on the right seems to have a top hat on. So yeah, and they're not that different in catalogue number, but of course they could have been pressed at very different times. Okay, put that one back there. Where do we get to? Dreaming and Passing of Salome, which I think is famous, but I don't know what it is. Okay, yeah, there was something else in here, R3036, and there's a bit of text about whatever it was that was in there before. I don't always read when I'm on camera like this. I don't always read what's entirely on this sleeve. I often miss bits. Okay, so this, interestingly enough, is not a winner. This is a scaler. This is hiding in the baritone solo 1352. This Geo Potter and Co. Gramophone Specialists, and they were located in Aldershot, and they had a 3-digit telephone 100. What a telephone number to have, easy to remember. And it's a sewn sleeve or sewn cover, so this is probably earlier in the 1920s. Anything on the other side? Much the same. I mean, what's the record? We've got Knocking, Who Is There is the actual record. And but interesting enough, at some point in the past, it looks like this had a HMV record in it. Quick peep at the record itself. Not much of a rim at all. That does look in pretty good. It does look in pretty good condition. Very much the same sort of age as the winners, maybe slightly later. I do have some scalers. I don't think I have a scaler with that label though, so that's rather nice. So this one here is Indian troops arrival in camp. It's a descriptive. It's 2740. This probably relates to the First World War. These, for technical reasons, were usually done in a studio rather than being actual genuine on-site recordings. However, I'll have to listen to it to find out exactly what it contains. On the other side, we've got Tipperary and Brian Boru, which is also, it says descriptive march, which is an interesting description. I don't think I've seen that before. And this is I think probably a slightly later sleeve. The stuck paper, or cover I should say, the stuck paper tabs at the edge suggest that it's sort of late 20s into the 30s. Ascots who were in Oxford and Headington. Right, this is a song, The Songs My Mother Sang, Robert Carr, on winner 2635, and this is Hymns My Mother Used to Sing. I don't know the date on this one, but it could be sort of First World War again. I mean, there was a catalogue, there was a collector's catalogue number there. The sleeve is Patterson Sons and Co Limited, and they were in various places in Scotland. And it has this is the sort of license stamp, copyright license stamp. I don't recognise that. That actually looks a bit. That's kind of a bit unusual as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not an expert on those at all. Another nice winner here. This is British Army Cavalry Calls by Trumpeter Anderson. This may well be in the sleeve that it's been, well, not the original sleeve or cover, but the catalogue numbers match up there. So 1914. So this may well be the date of this record. This is British Army Cavalry Calls Part 2 and Royal Artillery Calls by Trumpeter Anderson. I might have this actually, but if I do, I think I've got it on a later label. So yeah, so that's that one. Now this didn't have a cover. This is a much later Decca. Tommy Steele, yeah, neon sign. What's on the other side? Tommy Steele again. Nairobi. Okay, not so much of interest to me, that one. This is another winner. Lots of winners in here. Queen Mary Waltz, accordion solo by Jack Williams on winner 2578. And Her Bright Smile Haunts Me Still, which is another accordion solo. Another winner. Well, let's see what the previous owner said. Yeah, that's I think relating to a different record, so we'll ignore that. This is Selection 1 Samples, Royal Court Orchestra 2987. Let's have a look on the other side. This number here, it kind of looks like a date, that's why I paused, but in fact it's 1908 on one side and 1909 on the other side, so it's the face number, not any sort of date. And although there's a patent date of 1912, the actual records will be later than those. So yeah, so that's Samples Part 1, Part 2. Let's have a very quick look at the record. Got a little bit of a rim. But yeah, on the face of it, that looks pretty good. Now this is a HMV. This is Maurice Chevalier, who's somebody I have heard of. Paris Stay the Same, and Valentine, which is also by the same person. And anything to say about the sleeve? It's Sinet's Church Road, Williamston, Northwest 10, so that's a London dealer. Probably a 20 sleeve. The record could well be 20s too. Okay. Another winner here. This is Monbijou Royal Court Orchestra. It wins. Sorry, what am I saying? It wins 2893. Would help if I read the right bit. And on the other side we have Destiny, and I'm sure I've heard of Destiny Waltz, and this is a waltz called Destiny, so that's probably the same thing. Also played by the Royal Court Orchestra. Nice clean record, bit of a slight chip there. No rim really. Yeah, pretty decent. This one here, no cover on this. This is Whitlock's Weights, descriptive by W.W. Whitlock. Yet again, it's not the same label. I mean, it's similar, but it's not the same. Let me get that on camera. Maybe get that on this camera here. So you can see it's basically the same picture, but it's been redrawn. The stand is in a completely different place. The horse is closer. The guy next to the finish line is different. It's just different. I'm going to have to figure out how old these various labels are. This has got a bit of a rim, which suggests it's older rather than newer. Let's flip that over, and on this side we have Whitlock's Christmas Party. Well, there you go. Maybe I'll play that and see what it's like. In fact, there's an empty sleeve there, or empty cover. This is Sutton's Music Centre, Grove Road, Sutton. So I've no idea if this belongs together, but maybe we'll just slip that in there for good measure. Another winner here. This is Mother Machree, sung by Robert Carr. And on the other side, we have Always Think of Mother by the same person. And this is Winslow's Gramophone Specialists, 6 Queen Victoria Street, Reading. 4-digit number there. Probably slightly later sleeve, as it's gummed at the sides rather than sewn. You can see these records, or at least these sleeves, come from all over the country. Okay, this is a humorous sketch, Harnessing a Horse, Will Evans and Co. on winner 2845, and this is a later label. It's not the latest, but it is a later one. And actually, we've got a previous collector's tag on there too, which matches, and that's just the second part of that. So just put that on the pile and carry on. Woodland Echoes, Royal Military Band, another winner. 2087. Do the old ridge test. Yeah, it's got a bit of a ridge on it, so that's an earlier pressing. Looks in pretty good condition. There's a bit of chipping on the edge, but nothing serious. Yeah, I don't always catch the cracks when I go through them on camera, but these do look like they're in pretty good condition. Now, if you're enjoying this video, then please do let me know and give me a like, so that I know and that YouTube knows too. Thank you. Okay, so this sleeve here, or cover here, this is Craven & Co. Established in 1892. London, Camberwell, Tooting, Streatham. So yeah, this is a London dealer. Some point this record was for, or the record that was in the sleeve, which might not be this one, was sold for £1. Okay, let's see what we've got. The Bing Girls are there. Conducted by Mr. John Ansell of the Alhambra Theatre and his band. It's not very clear at all, that. And on the other side, the Bing Girls are there. So I will have to look up and see who the Bing Girls actually were, but that's obviously related to them. Okay, this is another pianoforte solo, The Nightingale Song, a musician Whitaker by the looks of it, on winner 2085. And we've got the Priory Gramophone Stores. This was in Dover. You want the latest records? We have them. Well, that's a great thing to be able to say. What is the record? We've got, well, this is a cornet solo, The Rosary by Sergeant Ellis, or played by Sergeant Ellis. Yeah, okay. Now this cover is from the Savoy Music Salon. I can tell by the machine, especially this one here, this is sort of 1930s. The record itself is going to be earlier with a label like that. That's My Regiment, Band of HM Irish Guards on 2678, and British Phalanx. I think I've pronounced that right, but I probably haven't, which is another march by the band of His Majesty's Irish Guards. And we've got a Songster gramophone hint number 6 sleeve here. Just before you put your gramophone away, allow the motor to run down a little, thus taking the tension off the main spring. This will keep your motor up to full strength and give your main spring a longer life. Okay, there's actually a whole range of these gramophone hints. I may or may not have them all. I keep meaning to look and collect them all together and actually see what they said. Okay, put that on the pile. It doesn't really matter which pile I put these on. Now this is an Edison Bell record. This Edison Bell winner, so this is a much later, sort of into the 20s, but it's still a winner really. The Broken Melody by the late Auguste Van Bian, not pronouncing that right I'm sure. And on the other side we have the Phantom Melody by the same person. It's a cello solo. Now this poor record here, this is not going to get played. This was a London American. It's Pat Boone. I wouldn't break a record, but this one is most certainly broken, so we'll take that one out. Here's a rather later winner, Belle of New York, London Regimental Band, and selection 2 from the Belle of New York London Regimental Band. But what's really nice about this is the cover. I mean, that's a rather nice Edison Bell winner sleeve, and I don't think I've got one like that, and certainly not one in quite so nice condition as that, so that's rather nice. So you can see the horse matches the horse. Maybe we'll turn that around. Horse matches the horse. Now, interesting enough, 2157 there, and it has a date 1912. Now, it might be actually that the recording is from 1912, but certainly the record is going to be a bit later. Although, interesting enough, although the horse matches, this sleeve is Edison Bell winner, whereas this is just winner. So this is before they went to the Edison Bell. So maybe the sleeve and the record don't match. Another winner here with one of these grey labels. This is the Miner's Dream of Home, which is descriptive. It's on catalogue number 2222, so that's easy enough to remember. And on the other side we have Jack's Return on Christmas Eve, so another Christmas related one there. So what have we got here? This is an Electron sleeve. Sorry, an Electron record, which is in German by the looks of it. I'm not going to attempt to read that, but that's different. I may have an Electron record, but if I do, it's only the one. What's on the other side? So okay, we've got a British or a UK sleeve. It's got a hornless machine there, and probably something like a Columbia Vivatonal down here. Is that in camera shot? I think it is. But he obviously had a taped sides, which would make the cover a little bit later. So yeah, that's from Belfast. So that's from yeah, it's from Ireland. This one here, another winner, quite early I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's got a thickish rim on there. This is the Royal Military Band. This company also did electric, incandescent, gas, lighting and wireless. It's got a stitched cover, which would imply it's a bit earlier. It's got a nice picture here of well, it says a large and varied stock of silk and lace shades and a large selection of bead shades. So kind of looks very 1920s, and the record may be 20s, it may be a little bit earlier, but that's what that one is, and the other side's going to be the same. And in fact we've got a Columbia Grafanola there, and Nip the dog there. Right, so a much more modern parlophone, probably from the 50s. In fact, it does say 1956 Super Rhythm Star Series. Humphrey Lyttelton and his band, Close Your Eyes, and Bad Penny Blues. I mean, it's probably quite a good record actually. It's not really me, but it's probably quite a good record. Here's another grey label or black and white label winner, but in an imperial sleeve. What do we got? We've got Departure of the Troop Ship, descriptive on 2695, and March Past of the Brigade, also descriptive. Again, this is probably going to be a dramatisation done in a studio rather than any sort of on-site recording. I mean, this is from before the time of microphones and portable recording equipment above and beyond, say, like a cylinder phonograph. So actually doing any sort of outside or outside recording was extremely difficult. This one here, this is a sleeve from Glasgow, Riviera Waltz by Jack Hilton and his orchestra. In fact, yeah, there's various places in Scotland, Glasgow, Ayr and Paisley. They had branches. They have phone numbers that I can see, established 1887. So that's quite an early HMV. Yeah, that's quite nice. I say quite early, I mean not that early, but I have to look this one up. Dear Love, My Love Waltz by the Remain Orchestra. That's quite a nice find. Oh, and actually I just noticed it says we are agents for GB Scope Home Talkies. So I've never heard of those, but this must be from the 1930s. This cover must be from the 1930s. The record might be too, actually, or maybe a little bit earlier. So here's another HMV, and again, I'm no expert on these, but I say that label just looks a little bit later because it's not got these sort of cut out, these sort of panels here. These bits here. It's not got these bits here. Let's get them both. So to my mind, this record here on the left is actually older than this record on the right. In fact, the catalogue numbers would suggest that too. This one's B1808, and this one is B3211. So what do we actually got here? This is You're Always in My Arms from the film Rio Rita, and on the other side we have If You're in Love, Your Waltz by the same person. And this sleeve must be, looking at the machine there, that's a HMV 101, but it's got it's sidewind, and it's sidewind. It looks like the cranky is tilted up slightly, so that's going to be late 20s, early 30s, something like that. On this side here we have Gracie Fields with her HMV 157, which I have one of too, and it's an excellent machine. Again, that would suggest sort of late 20s, early 30s. And here we have another winner. This is Scotch comic song, The Portobello Lassie, sung by Hector Gordon. And on the other side we have It's Nice to Get Up in the Morning, also by Hector Gordon. This is Mantona. Also, to use Mantona gramophone needles means better reproduction. Now, I've never heard of Mantona. But interestingly enough, the dealer is Reginald E. Manton. So they're going to be needles that would have been sourced by that dealer with their own name on. Probably very good needles, but probably also sold under other names in other shops. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about that one. A quick look, nice thick rim on it. Hopefully that's okay. No signs of cracks there. Okay, let's have a look. We've got any more? So we've got lots of 7-inch singles in there. We've got, I think these are children's records. Right. No more obvious 78s in there. So if you'd like me to look through what's left, then please please let me know. But otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, then you might like to watch this one too. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.